Welcome back, YouTubers. This is a review of the Power Rangers Legacy Series Zeonizer. Now, this is going to be the last morpher this series gets, with Hasbro taking over the license from Bandai. And this series was pretty good. I'm really sad that they didn't get past 3. But what can you do? Anyway, let's get right to it. As you can see, box pretty standard. Back has a short box blurb about the premise of the series, which we won't go into. Points out it's got die-cast parts and such, does an air slash sound when you move it, and has a picture of Zero Ranger 5, so, pretty standard. I always liked this one. It was the first wrist-mounted one we got in Power Rangers, so it was pretty cool. Next, inside, we've got the actual Zeonizer plus instruction sheet. I have to say, though, these instructions, pretty minimalistic. They go into what it does, just not exactly what it does. I'll explain in a moment. But first, let's look at the bits. First, you've got the brace with the crystal on it, then the piece that it clips into. Now, first, there's this. This button pops this open. This one pops this piece open. So, ideally, you're supposed to do this. Sorry. With this piece here having a small mirror inside that reflects the light from the piece. Now, one other thing you should know is this piece has a little release catch here, so if you take out the Zeonizer crystal, you have to push down here. And it does come out, which is a nice part. I worry sometimes that things like this, they'll intentionally remove functionality like that. Anyway, there's an on and off switch here. Does that sound? If you leave it just sitting for a few, you'll hear a communication chirp that they did when they were communicating. But also, if you do this, it'll do sound effects. Now, it will play the Power Rangers Zeo song, but I did a recording of this previously, and it got copyright striked, so I had to take that video out. So, Zero Ranger 5, red! That was the last setting I had it on. And turning this dial here, which is disguised as the Zeo symbol, it'll switch to different ones. Now, if you do it here, it'll start playing the song, but as I said, copyright reasons, I cannot do that. So just... Yellow, blue, green, red. It's morphin' time. Pink. Zero Ranger 1, pink. And as you can see, once you roll it all the way back around, it'll just do the same thing again. Now, I really do like this morpher. It's one of my personal favorites. And they apparently also released the Gold Ranger morpher, which was never actually used in the series, as Jason, who took over as Gold Ranger after Trey lost his powers temporarily, didn't use anything. I also remember seeing the toy in stores, and I never understood why they didn't use it in the series. Maybe it's just because they were trying to sell more of the Golden Power Staff toys or late production, who knows. But either way, if you can get your hands on this, I recommend getting this. It's a fun and enjoyable one, a strict upgrade of the original, of course, because the original was a lot smaller and wrist straps fit an actual normal adult human instead of just children. Because one problem with a lot of Power Ranger toys is these bands are very short. And as you just heard, that's the communicator sound. It goes off at random while the thing is turned on. So if you're getting this, make sure you turn it off, because otherwise you will get that sound at random intervals with no explanation. The only other thing I wish is that there were some other controls on this, like to trigger the communicator sound. But for what we get, it's a pretty good sound. The only other thing that I have an issue with is actually the plastic itself. Look here. It's very slight, but you can see that the light from the LED inside is going through the plastic outside. A slight issue that I think that would have probably been corrected in future releases if they ever did them, but for what we got, I'll take it. It is a slight annoyance, though it isn't too bad because it only shows up on the thin part here, so it could intentionally be done. Maybe it's supposed to look like the energy's flowing out of it, since the thing does change the color each time from Zeoranger 1 to 5, from pink, yellow, blue, green, and red. It could be the reason. I do kind of wish there was just a generic morph sound for the default one, but instead we get the Zeo song, which, as I said, I cannot do because of copyright issues. Unlike the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Morpher, the song is fully voiced and YouTube's annoying copyright bots detect it. So, I'm afraid I can't. And there you see another chirp from it. Anyway, but if you're after this, I'd get it now while you can, because it's likely to become very hard to get and also extremely expensive and rare. Either way, please like, subscribe, comment below, and share this video, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!